Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Bronner versus Garcia and Charlo versus Heiland Media conference call. Your host for today, Lou DiBella, will begin.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us for what's going to be a terrific card with Adrien BRONER versus MIKEY Garcia in the main event in a 12-round junior welterweight fight on Showtime Championship Boxing, presented by Premier Boxing Champions, on July 29th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, the home of Brooklyn Boxing. It's going to be a terrific card. It's being promoted by Mayweather Promotions and my company. I want to shout out to Leonard Ellerby and Floyd Mayweather and all their staff who are working with us on this card. As you all know, that they've been pretty busy lately. I'm not sure if Leonard's going to join us during this call, but if he does, I'll throw it over to him when he does. Tickets can be purchased at Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. And there have been some adjustments to the ticket pricing with respect to locations that are fan-friendly. So if people go on Ticketmaster now, you will see some adjustments that I think fans will like when they're purchasing their tickets. We're going to start with the opening bout. First of all, there's a terrific off-TV undercard today. A terrific card involving Rashid Warren was added to the card. Jarrell Miller is fighting Gerald Washington on the card. Katie Taylor from Ireland is on the card. Noel Murphy, Richardson Hitchens, a bunch of great local talent. It's a terrific card from top to bottom. The opening TV fight features one of the up-and-coming young stars in boxing. He's already been a world champion at 154 pounds, the IBF 54-pound champion. He made 3 title defenses against Julian Williams, Austin Trout, and Wilkie Camford. He's now the number 2 ranked middleweight in the world by the WBC, trained by Ronnie Shields, one of the best young fighters in the world. This will be his New York debut, Jermall CHARLO. And Jermall will be fighting Sebastian HEILAND, the number 1 ranked middleweight by the WBC from Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is also his New York debut, and he's fighting in the U.S. for only the second time. He holds a knockout win against former world title challenger Matthew Macklin. He's the former WBC Latino and WBC international middleweight titleist. So I'm going to throw it over to Sebastian HEILAND and his translator, Sebastian. So, Sebastian, could Sebastian HEILAND say a few words?
Yo te decía algunas palabras para presentarte, para agradecerle la oportunidad y todo eso. Puedo decirlas en español y yo traduzco.
Bueno, agradezco las palabras que usaron para presentarme y bueno, estoy muy contento de participar en esta gran velada día 29. Así que, bueno, ya preparado, listo para hacer una gran batalla.
Well, first of all, thank you for this opportunity to do the Bella Mayweather Promotions, Al Heyman and everything, and Showtime. Well, I'm ready. I know it's going to be a battle, but I'm here and ready for it. So.
And now with a record of 25-0 with 19 KOs out of Houston, Texas, Jermall CHARLO.
Yeah, how you doing? Thanks everybody for having me. As our debut in New York, I'm ready to steal the show and put on a great show. I know Heiland is coming all the way from his hometown to shut my career down and everything that I've worked hard for. So I'm prepared for everything he has to offer. And it's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be a great night of boxing.
Yo sé que bien viene de Argentina para tratar de
We're going to open this up for questions.
What's that?
I said we're going to open up for questions from the press to both fighters.
Perfect.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question is going to come from Dan. Please go ahead. Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Hey, Jermall, how are you today? I got a couple of questions for you.
All right, how you doing, man?
My first question is, after your knockout against Julian Williams in a really good performance to keep your 154-pound title, I was wondering, when you decided to go up in weight, was it strictly a matter of struggling over the last maybe a couple of fights to make the 154-pound weight limit, or did you just feel that there might be better opportunities at 160, even though there's obviously still good fighters in the junior middleweight division that have title belts and have a bit of a name?
I mean, it was a matter of time. I felt like I did everything at that time to be the best at 154 pounds. With my twin brother having the belt, Landi Lara having the belt, one of the belts, WBO going vacant or whatnot, and me having the IBF, it was better opportunity at 160.
Okay, so when you look at the landscape, and I'm not certainly overlooking Jorge Sebastian, who's got a good record and been in the ring with some good fighters, but when you do your, I know you're a smart boxing guy because we've had these conversations, and you look at the landscape at 160 pounds. There's a huge fight in September between Canelo and Triple G. There's a number of good boxers in that weight division. What do you see as your path to one of those world title belts, and how you can put yourself up in that level of name recognition with some of those other big stars in that weight class?
Basically, it's like me capturing. I'm not overlooking Heiland at all, but I have to do what I did at 154 pounds, or they're not gonna think I'm real. So my job is to fight as hard as I can and train as hard as I can and fulfill my dream, and that's becoming a two-time world champion.
And when you look at Jorge Highland's record, and you take a look at the career that he has had, I mean, he's got the one, real solid win, I guess, but not a lot of, he's got the knockout against Macklin. Macklin was, let's be honest, a little bit near the end of his career at that moment in time. Is there anything on his record that gives you pause at all?
Yeah, he's seasoned. I mean, he's a fighter that knows what he's doing, and he know what he came here for. He's been fighting since 2007, so he's from Argentina, and it's not like it is in America. So he had to take the same route, and he made it this far to be the for 2 years in a row being the #1 WBC fighter. I'm not taking him lightly at all.
I got you. I wouldn't expect that you would, Jermall. Thank you very much, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Keith Eidig from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
My question is for Jermall. Jermall, can you tell us what you think Heiland does well and some of the things maybe you need to guard against in the fight?
Studying Heiland, he's a good fighter. He's strong. He comes to fight every time he comes to fight, and that's what I do know about him.
Jermall, obviously, if you win this fight, you're going to be the mandatory in the WBC. Do you feel like the winner of the Alvarez-Golovkin fight could be the next fight for you if you win this fight?
I'm taking it fight at a time right now. I'll get with my team after the fight is over, and we'll map out everything from that point on.
I also have a question for Heiland. Can you ask him what it feels like for him to come to this country, obviously as a big underdog against Jermall CHARLO, what it means to him to come here, and also, maybe the odds he's facing coming into this fight as an underdog?
¿Qué representa o qué significa o qué sentís vos viniendo a Estados Unidos a pelear con Charlo, siendo que ellos tienen todos a Charlo como favorito?
No, tengo confianza en lo que hago. La verdad que el entrenamiento me da la confianza que necesito. Y sé que tengo un gran rival diferente. Sé que no va a ser fácil, pero vine preparado, como dije, para dar una gran batalla y ser positivo que va a ser todo lo bueno.
I know Charlo is a great fighter, but I don't feel like the underdog because I have obviously confidence in myself. I have my experience, and I trained. Had great training camp back home, and as I said before, I came here prepared for a battle, and I am in, of course, to be the winner. So if you guys consider me the underdog, I really don't care.
Well, the odds maker consider him the underdog. That's more what I meant. But can you ask him also what it would mean for him in his life? If he was able to win this fight, because he would obviously get a title shot from there.
Okay. ¿Qué significaría ganar esta pelea para vos?
Muy importante para mí. A lo largo de estos 2 años pasé por un montón de cosas. Sin embargo, nunca dejé de entrenar, siempre puse la misma gana. Y la verdad que es importantísimo para mí ganar esta pelea antes de
during those 2 years that I was seated in the #1 spot in the WBC rankings, I went through a lot of things, really a lot of things. But I never quit. I never stopped training. So obviously, for me, this is a crucial point of my career and my personal life. So obviously, it would be very important to beat a guy of the magnitude of Charlo at his own backyard.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Len Satterfield from the Boxing Premier Champs. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing, Jermall? How you doing? Hey, I know you're very much established, focused on Heiland. I did talk to Austin Trout about you and your common opponent Canelo, and he says that you're better right now than Canelo. And I also wanted to ask you to give me your scouting report on Danny Jacobs' performance against Golovkin, and what you think that says about your chances, your power, your range, and your overall boxing skills.
I'm at the top of my game right now. I'm actually more hungry and focused on beating Heiland than I've probably been even in fighting Trout. Thanks Trout for the kind words. He put up a great fight against me, but moving forward at 160 pounds, I feel like this is where I should have been the whole time. So now the pressure is on me to look good and perform good at my highest performance and get the fans what they need to see so I can continue to reign. GGG and Danny Jacobs was a great fight. Jacobs showed a lot of heart. He exploited Golovkin. I'm focused on moving on to the next level, and that's
diciendo que Jacobs hizo una gran pelea, pero que él está enfocado en lo de
Sebastian, we can't hear the fighter with the translation.
Can he repeat that last? Can you repeat that last part? I'm really sorry, Jermall. I couldn't hear over Sebastian.
I said, Danny Jacobs and GGG had a nice hard fight. The fight showed where GGG got hit a lot more than we probably seen him get hit, and Danny Jacobs exploited those mistakes that he was making. And I know Canelo's looking at that, thinking that he's gonna go into the fight and do what Danny Jacobs did, but I feel like Danny is a better fighter. But look, I'm not focused on that right now. My main focus is to get to the next level, and all the pressure is on me to perform at my highest level that I've ever performed at right now. So I'm not necessarily focused on the winner out of the champions right now. I'm focused on becoming the #1 spot where they have to avoid me.
Understood. One more question for you. You mentioned that you should have been at 160 all along. I'm not sure if you meant as far back as the Trout fight or even the Williams fight. But having said that, do you expect your power to translate immediately to this weight class? And how far do you think before you enter this weight class, do you think you need to be to have to be at the top of your game physically at this weight?
Knockout power is something that's God-given. I expect my power to translate immediately, like you said. Not only that, I'm feeling a lot better. As you know, making 154 pounds was the objective, and it was the goal all along. But now my focus has been on sharpening up me and sharpening up my mind frame. And now that I put my physical strength with my sharper mind frame, I feel like I'm going to fight a lot better.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Next question.
I think that's actually the last question for this group.
Oh, okay. And we'll move on to the main event.
Yeah. If anyone has any other questions or interview requests for Charlo and Heiland, they can reach out to Swanson Communications, and we can set up extra interviews. But go ahead.
Or they can just go to my Instagram or Twitter or something and ask me the question directly at Future of Boxing.
All right. Thank you, Jermall, and thank you, Sebastian, and I look forward to seeing you guys in Brooklyn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The main event on this show is a sensational matchup between Adrien BRONER and MIKEY Garcia. Mikey's undefeated, 36-0. Adrien is 33-2, but Adrian's undefeated at 140 pounds, which is the weight for this fight. This is a fight that really is a fight between two stars. It's a fight between two guys whose names come up in pound-for-pound kind of discussions. MIKEY Garcia at 36-0 with 30 KOs has knocked out 19 of his last 21 opponents. He won the BC lightweight title in his last bout on January 28 with a third-round KO of undefeated Dejan Zlatikainen to become a three-division world champion. He's held titles at featherweight, super featherweight, and lightweight, and he's never fought above 138, so this is his first fight at 140, and he's taking on one of the very best. So, Mikey, would you like to say a few words, please?
Hi, I'm here. How you doing, Dan?
Mike, you want to say a few words to everybody?
Yeah, well, you know what? We're finishing up camp over here. I'm very excited, very happy for the fight. You know, we're just a little over a week to go, and I think it's going to be one hell of a fight. I think people are going to be very excited to see me. You know, it is a new challenge, like you mentioned. You know, I'm fighting 140 pound for the first time, and especially against, you know, a top, you know, former world champion Adrien BRONER. So I think it's going to be, you know, another opportunity for me to show the fight fans and all the media what I'm capable of doing, and that's what I'm most excited about, to give them another side of MIKEY Garcia.
Hello.
Is it time for questions?
Are we having connection problems there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Lou, are you there?
This line is here, but...
Okay. Leonard, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Would you be able to introduce Adrien? I believe Adrian's on the line. Adrien, are you on the line?
Yeah.
I do apologize. One moment. I believe we have that person in the room.
Adrian's on. No. Leonard, why don't you make some comments, and then you could turn it over to Adrien, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay.
Oh, there's Lou. Okay.
I'm here. The last thing I was saying was simply that people don't realize this, but Adrian's 27 years old. He's actually 2 years younger than Mikey, undefeated at the weight of 140. and I'm going to turn it over now to my good friend Leonard Ellerby, who's one of the busiest guys in boxing these days. Been traveling all over the world and getting FaceTime on every channel, international channel, and every sports channel, and every channel in the universe. And I'm happy that we're co-promoting this event together, and I'll let Leonard say a few words and then throw it over to Adrien. Leonard?
Leonard's line has dropped from the call. One moment, please.
I think he should be back on.
Okay, they're back.
Hey, Leonard. Leonard?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. You want to say a couple of words and throw it over to Adrien?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, the phone had cut off like 3 times.
Well, we have you now, so why don't you say a couple of words to the press and then throw it over to Adrien.
Okay, sure. Hello?
Leonard, go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for joining the call today. We're really excited about this great event we have next week. It's going to be, again, I think it's going to be a very, very exciting fight. Most of the media are favoring Mikey Garcia to win the fight. I feel differently. I think that Adrien's going to come. He's coming to win the fight. I think he's going to put on an excellent performance. And this is the new Adrien. We've heard different things in the past from Adrien, and I think this is the defining fight in his career that's going to take him to the next level, to the superstar level where he belongs. So without further ado, I'd like to have Adrien Broner.
AB, you there?
Yo, what's up?
Why don't you say a few words to the press? I hear you like slim and like in a killer mode right now.
Man, listen, man. At this point, fuck the press. They all against me. I'm ready to fight, and next week I'm gonna show everybody, man. I'm still that young, hungry animal, and I will take over the sport of boxing. So I'm ready to answer my question and get off this motherfucking phone.
I think on that note, we better turn it over to questions real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And I'm waiting for callers to join the queue. My first question is going to come from Keith Idec from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
Adrien, how much has being the underdog in this fight, you talked about it at the press conference, you were joking around a little bit about it, but how much has it motivated you, though, and really driven you during this camp to get ready for this fight?
I really don't look at that because I know by time next week it won't be what it was. But I just want to go out there and show the people, I am one of the top boxers for a reason. I will be victorious next week.
How much has it helped you to go out to Colorado Springs? That you made a point of saying that you really thought that was going to make a difference for you in the camp. How has it translated to helping you better prepare for the fight?
I feel great, man. I weighed in at 144 this morning, and I can make weight tomorrow if I wanted to. But I'm just cruising, man. I'm just ready to put on a show.
Has it been easier for you to get down to around 140 than you thought, or about what you expected?
No, it's actually been easy, man. I could have been did it, but I ain't had a reason to do it. Now I got a reason to make 140. Plus, I ain't giving nobody $500,000. I'd rather give somebody $10. I ain't got to give nobody $500,000 to nothing.
I have also a question for Mikey. Mikey, what has camp been like for you? And has it been easier because you're weighing in at a higher weight? Has that helped you at all?
The camp has been great. As far as the weight, that's never been a problem, and it's just training hard, getting in shape. That's the number one thing. The weight is not, like I said, it's not a problem. So I know I ain't worried about the weight, and we just actually are eating a little bit more than usual to keep the weight higher, because I would have dropped weight too soon, and we're sparring big guys, and we don't want to do that. It's not the correct thing to do. So I just feel very comfortable right now.
Also, just one last question for Leonard. Leonard, I was just wondering if you could tell me what your thoughts are on how much this has motivated Adrien to be, viewed as the underdog in the fight, and how much that's kind of helped him prepare for this fight. Is Leonard there or no?
Leonard?
His line is in the call.
Well,
he's probably on the phone with Connor. Go to the next question.
All right, how about you guys just ask me all the questions? All the other team doesn't know what they're doing.
Our next question is
all the questions.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. My first question is for you, Adrien. Hello, Adrien.
What's up, Dan?
Hey, my question for you. First of all, did I hear you say that that the penalty for you not making weight or Mikey not making weight was $500,000? Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so that's a pretty big motivation, I would imagine, to get down to the 140 limit. Is that how you're looking at it?
I mean, I ain't giving nobody nothing.
Okay, fair enough. Adrien, in his introductory remarks, Leonard Ellerbe said that he thought this was your defining fight. And you've had some major fights. You've won titles in 4 weight classes and fought some good names and all. But do you look at this as a defining fight against Mikey Garcia, even though, it's not for a world title, but it's a pretty big deal fight, it seems to me.
Yeah, he's another star in boxing in his aging time. So, of course, it's a hell of a fight for me, and it's definitely going to be a defining moment for Adrien BRONER.
What do you think a win would do for you?
It depends, man. When you got guys like me, they always try to find some type of way to they'll not give you the credit all the way. At the end of the day, man, I'm just going in and get my victory, man.
Do you think that fighting a fighter the caliber of Mikey Garcia, who is undefeated, who has the titles in 2 weight classes, who many people consider one of the top fighters in boxing, pound for pound, an exciting fighter, all the things that people look to their top fighters that he seems to possess. And if you win the fight, it seems to me like it's almost going to be a bigger victory for you if you win than the fights that you won world championships in, which were not always against well-known opponents. Is that a fair assessment, do you think, that this would be even more significant than any of those world title victories?
I mean, you can't say that, but at the end of the day, man, I fought a lot of good fighters, man, but I'm just worried about getting my victory, man. I can say some facts and state some facts, but I ain't trying to get into all that right now. I'm in fighting mode, and I'm just ready to fight.
Okay, I'd like to ask Mikey a couple questions also. Thank you for that, Adrien. Look forward to seeing you next week. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Dan.
I just asked Adrien about, if he were to score this victory, would it be almost bigger than the fights in which he won world titles in, even though this is not a world title fight? And I asked you the same question. I mean, you've got the title belts that you've won over the years, but do you think that Broner, because of the recognition of his name and the fact that he's a very, very well-known fighter who has fought some big names also, that it would be almost a bigger win for you in this fight than when you won your world titles? Because the fighters that you won the world titles against were not household names by any means.
Well, he's the most accomplished fighter, 4-division world champion, and like you said, it's the most recognized name, so that makes it a bigger deal. I mean, fans and the media are more excited about my fight with Adrien BRONER's fight, than some of the other world title fights around the categories. That
Right.
shows you, the high-profile fight that this fight really is. This fight is much bigger scale than some of the world title fights, that me and Adrien have been part of, and some of the title fights that are around the division. So it is a very big, important fight, and it could definitely easily be seen as probably the biggest fight of both of our careers for Adrien and myself. But I'm not looking at that. I'm not letting that distract me from my task at hand, which is defeat Adrien BRONER.
No, I'm not gonna diminish the titles. I know they're important. They help guys create their legacies and help fans give recognition and media to the best fighters out there. But Mikey, do you think the fact that this is not for a world title matters at all to anybody? I don't think so. It doesn't. I've not heard a single boxing fan say to me, "Well, I'm not interested in Mikey Garcia versus Adrien BRONER because it's not a world title fight."
No, everybody's excited for the fight. I mean, I get nothing but good reviews and good comments. Everybody's so excited about this fight coming up. Like I said, it seems like it's bigger than some of the other title fights that are happening around the weight class, and it just shows you the kind of fighter that Adrien BRONER is. He has a lot of fans, and he's a high profile fighter, and people see me as a high profile fighter. And when two guys like us get in the ring, it makes for a great matchup.
Hey, Adrien, could you address that briefly? Your thoughts about the magnitude of the fight, as Mikey was just talking about, that even though it isn't a world title fight, that it's, as he was saying, and I agree with him, that in many ways it's bigger than a world title fight just because of the name recognition that both of you guys bring to the table.
It's a good fight for boxing, man. You got two fighters who were both on pound for pound at one point in time. I'm a 4-time world champion. He's a three-time world champion in 3 different weight classes. I'm a 4-time world champion in 4 different weight classes. It's a big fight for boxing. And this era of boxing is going to be a hell of a fight July 29th.
All right, one more question for you, Mikey. I know that you're moving up the 5 pounds to take on this challenge. Have you given thought to whatever happens about whether you'd like to stay in this weight class, or would you still like at some point to defend your title at lightweight?
Well, I still have plans on coming down to 135 to unify the titles or have a big title defense at lightweight. But, after being in boxing so long and learning the politics and the business about it, you got to be flexible. You got to be able to adjust and make those adjustments and continue with my career. I'm not going to sit around, wait for a fight, and chase anybody. I'm here to, take on the biggest fights available, the biggest challenges available, whether that means at 135 or 140 or possibly even 147.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that, Mikey. Hey, Lou, can you answer one question for me?
Yeah, sure.
I'm interested in your opinion about what Mikey and Adrien were talking about, it being a big fight for boxing, despite the fact that there is no world title at stake, and your thoughts about that. I mean, you promoted a lot of fights that were big title fights and non-title fights. Your view on nobody really, that they love the fight even if it's not for a title.
You know what? In this kind of case, I don't think the title matters. And I actually like the fight too. They're fighting at 140. They're fighting at a legit weight class. It's not like some strange catchweight situation. They're fighting at 140, which frankly is pretty much. I mean, for a guy who's a 35-pound champion, the highest you would expect Mikey to go for a challenge, and it's the best weight Adrien's fought at in his career. I mean, he's undefeated at 40, and 47, frankly, is not his best weight. So I don't think the weight matters. I think the weight here is sort of optimal to see a great fight, and I don't think anyone cares. I think this is a great fight. Personally, I think this is bigger, than your average title fight.
Very good. Thank you for that, Lou. I look forward to seeing all you guys next week. Thank you for your time.
Our next question is going to come from Alex Raskin from Vice Sports. Please go ahead.
Hey, this is for Mikey. Against a counterpuncher, a good defensive fighter like Adrien, how much does your style have to change? Do you have to maybe be less aggressive than you would normally be?
You know what? We have been working on a lot of things at the gym, working on different game plans, different styles of sparring partners, so I can be ready for whatever Adrien BRONER brings on Saturday night. If I have to be aggressive, I will be aggressive. If I have to maybe box, I will box. If I have to try to stay in the middle of the ring then I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to win this fight. And like I said, I know people still haven't seen everything that I have to offer, and I think Adrien Broner will be the one to challenge me enough and push me to that next level and bring out the best out of me.
And that's it. That's it for me. Thanks, Mikey.
Our next question is going to come from Michael Knox from Fox Sports. Please go ahead.
What's going on? This Adrien Broner. This first question is for you. The world keeps hearing about the all-new About Billions and what that in details. Can you enlighten the boxing world and as well as your fans on what exactly it means that About Billions has a new look on life in boxing?
Everybody keeps saying About Billions, but the new series is called About Boxing. So as you can tell, I left the About Billions lifestyle, and I left it alone for this whole camp, and that's why the new series that I've been putting out is about boxing, because I'm about boxing. So my main focus is just getting in the best shape I can so I can go fuck Mikey up, and that's it. It's nothing personal. It's the hurt business, and I know he's definitely trying to come hurt me, but I'm coming to fuck him up, and I ain't with all the bullshit. And I'm really ready to get off this motherfucker phone for real. I feel like we too close right now, and I feel like punching him in his fucking face. But hurry up with y'all questions, and I'm ready to hang up on y'all.
Well, thank you, Adrien, for that. Mikey, that actually gets me to my next question to you. You hear Adrien Broner say he's ready to get on right now. Y'all even being on the phone call together is a little bit too close to each other. What's your take on About Billions becoming about boxing and you trying to stop that whole movement?
Well, that's great, because that just means it's going to be a better fight. I don't want to have a fight against unfocused, untrained, out of shape Adrien Broner. That takes away all the credit. And he seems to be ready to get in the ring now, and that's actually, I love that, because when we were at the press conference, he was being a little too friendly, and we ain't friends. We're definitely not friends on Saturday night, 29th. So that's exactly the Adrien Broner I want to hear.
Thank you. That's from Fox Sports, Soul and Sports, Mike Knox. I hope you we can't wait till next week to see that fight live. We're looking very forward to it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Lem Satterfield from Premier Boxing Champions. Please go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Adrien? I appreciate you staying on the phone. First of all, can you discuss breaking your hand in the first round against Adrian Granados, and how difficult was that to overcome? Would you rank that as the most adversity that you perhaps had to overcome in the ring?
No, my worst adversity was I actually broke both of my hands when I fought this Mexican kid named Lugo, and I think it was on the Pacquiao Oscar card.
Okay.
Yeah, I broke both of my hands in that fight, and finishing that fight, that was probably the worst, because that shit hurted like hell. But it was tough though. But I got through it. Now I'm in a bigger fight, bigger task, and I'm just ready to put on the show.
Now, do you feel, obviously, I guess your hands are healthy and everything, do you feel that you're going to, being on weight, you said you weighed 144 today, that your power is going to be maximized at 140 where you're undefeated?
Man, honestly, man, I'm just ready to let the world see, man. It's not a mystery what I do at 140 pounds and down. And I'm gonna be in tip-top shape, and I hope he be in tip-top shape. But I'm ready to let my hands go out to talk to July 29th.
What are your thoughts on the fact that they're saying that you're the underdog by as much as 5-1, and that he has said that he will show that he's the better boxer? What are your thoughts about that?
Man, that's a damn lie. Ain't no way in hell he a better boxer than me. Who he beat? Come on, man. Quit playing on me. Better go
do you have a prediction? I know you said you're ready to fuck him up. Do you have a prediction? I mean, the way you're looking in training, the way you feel in training, and obviously the way you're amped up right now, can you explain how this fight's going to go from what round and when you expect, I guess, to end?
Listen, man, I can't tell the future, but I know I'm be victorious.
Okay. I guess one last question along the lines of what the guy just asked you. You had said in earlier interviews that you're growing older. In fact, you're going to be 28 the day before this fight, and that you're more mature, and that living like a grown man and not a 20-year-old is something that you're ready to do, and you, in your words, leave the ghetto stuff behind. Can you characterize what you mean by that?
It's just time to take boxing more serious, man. You know, when you touch the type of money I've touched at a young age, man, you know, you don't know how to handle it. You know, but you know, like I said before, I'm older. You know, I got experience in this lifestyle, and I know what I want to do, and that's be the best Adrien Broner I can be.
Okay, thanks a lot, Adrien. I appreciate your time. Mikey?
Yes.
Mikey, you heard the questions I asked him about his power, about his lifestyle. You've talked about both of those things. Can you talk about why you think you're the better boxer than Adrien Broner?
Well, I'm going to show it on Saturday the 29th. I'm going to show my skills. I'm going to show what I'm capable of doing. Like I said before, I haven't had a challenger, you know, really push me to that next level, and I think Adrien Broner will do that, and I'll be able to show everybody, you know, another side of Mikey Garcia that you still haven't seen.
Okay. How does he rank among the opponents? I mean, I don't think you faced anybody with his overall athleticism, overall punching power, especially relative to this weight class. Can you give me an honest assessment of how he ranks? Is he, even though you've won titles against other guys, is he the best guy you fought?
I think he will be. I think he will be the toughest challenge, the toughest opponent, the most accomplished fighter, you know, that I have faced. So I'm, you know, honestly, I think that this will be, you know, the toughest fight of my career so far.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mikey. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. You're welcome.
And our next question is going to come from Terrell Van from SiteView360.com. Please go ahead.
Hey, Doe, this question is for Adrien. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Question is, can you talk about the underdog situation? I understand you're a little frustrated, but I really don't feel that it's fair to rate you like that low as far as your skills. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Man, listen, man, these people, I don't care about being an underdog because at the end of the day, man, I don't make no money off of that. That's for some gambling people, man. That's some people in Vegas, man. It's okay, though. I bet they won't do it again after this fight.
You're saying right now you're 144 pounds, correct?
Yep.
That's it. My question was answered.
Do we have any more questions?
Yes. Our next question is going to come from Alex Raskin from Vice Sports. Please go ahead.
Hey, this is for Adrien and for Mikey as well. Do you think that a win next week would make this for both of you would make you guys a pay-per-view fighter? Would that push you to that level of being a pay-per-view fighter? I guess Adrien first.
I mean, you could put me on pay-per-view now. I'm still, to be honest. But you know, with the declining victory like this, of course, it's gonna step my career to the next level. But you know, I'm not worrying about that. I know all I gotta do just be sharp and get this victory and do what I do, and pay-per-view is gonna come.
And Mikey?
Well, I think
Alex,
it takes the right matchup to take it to pay-per-view. I mean, this fight itself could have been a pay-per-view possibly, and when you got two exciting fighters with a lot of fans on both sides, that makes pay-per-view. Now, a win over Broner might help me get to that level faster, but it's just you got to have the right guy. I mean, if I beat Broner, but then my next fight is against a nobody, there's no way that can be a pay-per-view fight. You have to be able to fight, the right guy that can, generate the buzz and make it a pay-per-view show.
Alex, pay-per-view is not necessarily the holy grail, even if you're a big fighter, as was proven when you just saw a pay-per-view fight between Kovalev and Ward that about 125,000 people bought. So far more people are going to see this fight. And if you go back, you can go back to Golovkin-Lemieux and a lot of other things. I'm not blaming the fighters, but for people to dip into their pockets in an economy that's difficult and dish out $70 regularly, you need the right event. A fight like this is a great fight. It's on Showtime, where it should be accessible to many more people, and frankly, you can get more than half a year of Showtime for the price of one pay-per-view.
Yeah, sure.
That's a great point, Lou.
Thank you, Lou.
Okay.
And our last question is going to come from Keith Iddick from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
Yes, my last question is for Mikey. Mikey, I was just wondering who was the biggest puncher you fought so far, and can you tell us, why that is?
Biggest puncher, I mean, I've been faced with some guys that are supposed to be heavy punchers, but I haven't felt their power. I had the right game plan and didn't really feel it. Dejan was supposed to be a big power puncher. I didn't feel it. Salido's a, heavy hitter. He, has become champion. Even after I beat him, he still became champion several times and beat some top guys, and I didn't feel his power. I felt, some of the guys earlier in my career that are, not any known names, but I think Adrien BRONER is the guy that probably hits the hardest out of everybody, especially because we're moving up in weight. He's, a bigger man naturally, as far as weight than I am. So we'll find out, Saturday night, the 29th.
Thank you, Mikey.
I believe that was the last question.
Anything else?
Adrien and Mikey, can you make closing statements? And Leonard and Lou as well. Mikey, you go. You start, and then Adrien, and then.
Well, I just want to, thank everybody for all the love and support. I mean, honestly, this is going to be a great fight. Can't wait. Great show. I know Adrien BRONER is motivated and coming in, ready to win, and I'm doing the same. So that makes for that much better a fight. And, the 29th is the beginning of my next stage of my career, better stage.
Adrien. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Adrien.
Bye.
Leonard, are you there?
Yes. The 29th is going to be a great fight. Again, I'm very confident that Adrien is going to come out and put on the best performance of his career. This is a defining fight in his career, and he wants to make a great statement. And we're just very excited for everyone to tune in. It's going to be a great fight.
Thank you. Lou, are you there still?
Yeah, I think that Adrian's probably hungrier than he's ever been, literally and figuratively, and he's got his hands full with Mikey Garcia as a pound-for-pound guy. This is a great, great fight, and it's on Showtime, live on Showtime, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. So it's an opportunity for a lot of people to be able to see the kind of fight that, as was pointed out, could be on pay-per-view, except you don't have to pay for this unless you just have to subscribe to Showtime. And many, many more people should see this. It's a great fight that's representative of the sport. And if you're anywhere near the tri-state area, anywhere near New York, Brooklyn, get to the Barclays Center. Go online right now, get your tickets, and hope to see you next Saturday night, the 29th. And always a pleasure to work with Leonard, Floyd, and the whole Mayweather Promotions crew. Thank you all.
I would like to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. I'll disconnect and have a great day.